That's right. That's right. She insists I wear it. I look grandfatherly in it.
Sorry?
I look grandfatherly in it. Erev Tov, everyone. This week's parsha begins ve'ele hamishpatim asher tosim lifneihem. Rashi says the famous idea that when it says vo'ele with a vav, it's a vav achibur. It's a vav that connects this parsha to the previous parsha. The previous parsha was Yitro, the parsha of Matan Torah. So just like the previous Torah was Sinai, so this is also Sinai, and that's why it says ve'ele. So all the Meforshim are troubled. We can say that about every mitzvah in the Torah. In fact, later we're going to have a Parshas Bahar that the Gemara asks, Har Sinai. Why does it say in Bahar Sinai, in the midst of Shemitah? So it says the same teretz that they wanted to teach us that Shemitah is Bahar Sinai, and that's not a later law that was introduced, so to speak, by Moshe himself. So if the basic idea is that all the mitzvahs were given to Moshe on Sinai, and when he came down with the luchos and with the oral law, with the structure of Judaism as we know it. So then what is the special role that Mishpatim plays in this matter? What does the Torah come to teach us here? So Rabbi Elio Mizrahi, who is the chief interpreter of Rashi, raises the question, and he says a different type of pshat, and he says that the Parsha of Mishpatim was said with kolot ubrakim, with the same physical thunder and lightning and the volcanic explosion, everything that took place at Sinai took place when Moshe told them, however, most of the Meforshim disagree with him and disagree with him strongly. And even if we say that, we're only begging the question. So even if you're right that it was said with volcanic ash, why? How about the other mitzvahs? Why weren't they said that way? I'm sure this has troubled you. So there's an idea here, a basic fundamental idea. We all know the principle that derech eretz kodma l'Torah. However, we will interpret that in the different stages of its development throughout Jewish history. but derech eretz, which is the way of the world, living in the world, living with other human beings, living with economic situations, living with social situations. Kodma the Torah, that comes before the Torah. What does that mean? So the Meforshim say that that's why it begins ve'ele mishpotim. These mishpotim that we have in the main, in this week's parsha, which, by the way, the basis for Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Batra, Mako, Sanhedrin, everything is in this parsha. This parsha deals mainly with the relationship between human beings in different situations. Now, the Torah could have presented us with a perfect world. A world where, for instance, there are no slaves. Why did the Torah begin with the discussion of slavery? Or the Torah, it could be a world where people don't act violently one against the other. And so you don't need all the laws of Nezikin. Or a world where people are careful. They don't dig a pit in the middle of the sidewalk. They don't have a fire that's uncontrolled. But that would not be the real world. Now, there are religions that that do exist in an imaginary world. You go, you isolate yourself from the world, and you look at your navel and you meditate. So you have nothing to do with the world. If you're meditating all the time, so then you're not getting into accidents and you're not lending money. You don't have disputes over wealth, over money, over damages, over wages. None of that exists. But the Torah is the Torah's Chaim. The Torah deals with the realities of this world. And the realities of this world are bitter. The realities of the world are that people always have disputes regarding money. Always have disputes regarding property. Because of the fact that to us, property and wealth becomes our ego. You're taking away something from me, something that's intrinsically mine. So how can I allow that to happen? And then you magnify it on a national scale, so there always have been wars in the world. And the Torah tells us that there always were wars. So because of that, therefore, it's called Mala Torah. The beginning of Torah, the first thing you have to know is how to live in this world. Now, we would say, well, let human beings, let's legislate it. What does the Knesset say? Pass a law. Or the Supreme Court will say the law is good or not good, or they'll do what they want. Every country has some sort of system. The perfect system has not yet been invented. As to how to deal with simple matters of people having to live together. And we see in our time, even when people felt that they had rights, inalienable rights that couldn't be taken from them, it's easy to take it from them. Can't say what you want. Can't pray. There's a case now in the United States, a frightening case, because it's going to affect Jews as well. Because there's a fringe Catholic group. They still pray in Latin, etc., etc. So the FBI is investigating them. That they're extremists. What happened to freedom of religion? And when they come to us, they're certainly going to find extremists. So the Torah wanted to give us a way to look at things. And that's the Bein Adam L'Chavero portion of the Torah. That's the Derech Eretz of the Torah. And the Torah therefore discusses all of the unpleasant things which exist in life. If you read Parshas Mishpatim, you don't want to get up in the morning. People assault each other. Women are taken advantage of and abused. Children are sold. What kind of world is that? Torah should have discussed Yom Kippur. Oh, wonderful. Everybody's in a white kittel. Everything's fine. But the Torah wanted to emphasize to us the realities of life. And that's why Torah is all-encompassing. And that's what it means, Mazeh Misinai, Gamzeh Misinai. Everything is from Sinai. Slavery is also Misinai. It doesn't mean that the Torah is in favor of it. And in fact, the oral law constructs such a set of rules that the Gemara says, Misha kona eved la'atzmo kona adon la'atzmo. You know that if you have cleaning help in the house, your whole life centers about the cleaning woman. Who's working for whom? Imagine if you have slaves that you have only one steak, you got to give it to the slave. You have only one pillow, you got to give it to the slave. So it's a system that can't work. But human nature doesn't give up on it. Human nature is such that we want to exploit other people. We want to take advantage of others because we think somehow that's to our advantage. So because of that, therefore, immediately after Matan Torah, the first thing that the Torah discusses are these issues, which are the black issues of society. In the Parsha, we will also have all of the Yom Tovim Klal Yisrael that are listed. So the Yom Tovim are beautiful. Yom Tovim are what we look forward to. Looking forward, the Pesach is in the air. But it's all hidden, inserted, so to speak, into the Parsha that talks about the more difficult things in life as well. And so therefore, that's why most of the Mefarshim are of the opinion that what Rashi says is correct. it's all from Sinai. And that only if we recognize that it's all from Sinai and we're able to follow those rules, even when the rules of Sinai are against our nature, so then we do the Ratzon Hashem, and then we can have the blessings that Sinai represents. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash, Omer Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakal Yisrael, V'Chir B'Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar, I don't know if I face some on Sitko Yadil Torah B'Yad.